Hi, this is Jeff Heaton. This is another video in my Kaggle series. If you're interested in more Kaggle videos from me, definitely subscribe and like. That sends me a message that you like this sort of video. In this video, we're going to look at how you can take existing features from other models and incorporate them into your own strategy. It's a key element of the Kaggle Utilities that I put together that I've linked in the description on GitHub here. This lets you take existing features and incorporate them. Now, why is that important? Why are you going to be taking features from other models? As a Kaggle competition unfolds, the Kaggle community is very sharing, and you will often see individuals post features and other bits of information that can help you. Now, what is a feature? A feature is essentially a column that is added to the Kaggle dataset that is probably calculated from data already in the Kaggle or comes from some other technique. When you are in a Kaggle, literally at least when I've been doing them, when I landed typically in the 10 to 7%, which by the way is as high as I've gone in the 3 Kaggles that I've competed in, you will sometimes notice, you'll always drop overnight. I'll wake up, first thing I do is check to see where I am in Kaggle. Sometimes you'll really drop. If you really drop rapidly, more than you normally do, what that absolutely means is somebody has released a new model or released a new feature, and all those people in a different time zone than you have now incorporated that into their models or are submitting something just raw right from this model or feature that somebody, usually from a model, and suddenly they're just scoring higher than you. Now, a lot of people beginning in Kaggle, this is completely demotivating and they will drop out of the competition altogether. You've been working for a week or longer on this model that you have, and you've gotten some position on the leaderboard, and then somebody releases a model that is better than you. That really ticks people off in Kaggle, but it's the reality. It's the way Kaggle works. So don't adapt, move forward. This can happen even 2 days before the competition ends. That really ticks people off, but it's the reality. So you've got to be able to incorporate these things into your models and move forward. Even if the model released is better than your model, that doesn't mean to throw away your model and just give up because somebody has surpassed you completely and given it to the world. And these people who have done no work whatsoever have taken this model and are submitting and hopping in front of you, and now the best you could do is tie them. It's not the case at all. That's what ensembling is for. So you'll take these models or these features or columns, you add those to your own inputs to your models and retrain, and models, you ensemble those with your own. Or maybe you even take the features out of those models, add them to yours. You have to very rapidly adapt for this. This video is talking about how do you take these features, columns, and incorporate them into your own. And of course, if you find this kind of thing interesting, please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so that you're notified of any additional videos that I create. Okay, my Kaggle Utilities are right on my GitHub repository, so if you want to stay up to date on that, go ahead and follow me or star the repository so you can see it. It's under my repositories, and you can find my GitHub just by Googling Jeff Heaton GitHub. It's under JH Kaggle Utilities. I like to show you on the map of my sort of Kaggle utility strategy where we're always at for one of these videos. We are right here at the very, very beginning. You've got your own features, your own columns that you're engineering to go into your joiner. Now, I recommend putting these all into separate pickle files with separate py files because some of these features can take a long, long time to generate. Ultimately, you're going to have one big feature set that you're training on, but it might be composite from some of your own. You'll definitely have your own features. Usually I have one file that is my own features, and then I'll create more. It'll be data, JTH1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. And then these are ones that I've grabbed from other people that they have contributed. There's a Borg-like from Star Trek nature to Kaggle that you You must assimilate other technologies into your own to survive in Kaggle. And this is absolutely what this framework is set up for. So let's go ahead and look at how we would do this. So this is what a Kaggle competition main page looks like. This is the Mercedes-Benz one. I used this one because I did actually compete in this. This was actually my worst Kaggle competition. This was a very unusual one. But it is a small data set, so it's great for running these samples on to show you how to deal with data on bigger ones that I've competed in, like Auto Challenge and Quora question pairs. So kernels and discussion are where you want to go to. If you see that you've tumbled in the leaderboard, that probably means somebody has released a kernel or something in a discussion that is critical that you incorporate. If it's features, then let's go ahead and look at how we would get those features into your model. Then in a later video, I'll show you how you would get a completely external foreign model into your ensemble. This example that I'm showing you, we used features. So if you look at the kernels, there's a lot of kernels posted for the Mercedes challenge. This is also why I don't really like to enter Kaggles on day one. I would rather a couple of weeks transpire and let a lot of the early stuff be posted to the discussions, see some of the initial analysis, and then I start to get into it as well. So I usually don't enter Kaggles on day one. I like maybe a couple of weeks, sometimes even a month into one of these. They'll typically run for about 3 months. This is not the one I was thinking of. Let me fast forward this. Okay, this is the one I was using, Mercedes-Benz Baseline 2. Now this one, if you have a look, most of these are pretty structured pretty similar. They're reading the testing and training data sets here. They're going to process the columns, get the shapes, all this stuff. They're doing PCA, ICA, some of these typical dimension reductions and other things. And notice what they're doing here. They are augmenting the training and test set with new values. This is feature engineering. They're adding the PCA and ICA. Those are dimension reduction sort of techniques. At this point right here, they are done with feature engineering because now they're setting up to run XGBoost. So we need to slice it right here and get a hold of the actual features that they're making use of, and I'll show you how I do that in a moment. I mean, these are basically just pandas data sets, so you can just do .2CSV and write them out and you're done. This part gets into actually fitting an XGBoost and then finally writing the output CSV for the submission. So if we wanted to commandeer this model, we would put some code in down here. That's not the point of this video. We'll do that in a future video where I show you how to take somebody else's model, such as this, and add it to your own. Here we're simply adding their features to your own. Now let's look at what I turned this code into. And here is the file that I put it in, datacur1. So this is creating one set of features. Now these two files here, they're just for examples. They're both oriented towards the Mercedes Kaggle challenge. So if you're doing a new Kaggle challenge, which is what you would be doing, just use these as guides, really. You'll need to almost completely rewrite them for the feature. But what I did with Cur1, I mean, it'd be really interesting to do a Kaggle where you don't actually do anything sort of original. You don't create any of your own engineered features. You just ensemble and piece together other people's features. I would suspect you would do reasonably good. I don't think you would land in the 10%, but you would definitely probably top 20%. Would be my guess. Your results may vary. So let's look at datacur1 that I put in. As to why I named it Cur, I think that was the name, the initials of the person that I had originally grabbed this from. This particular set of code got passed around quite a bit on Kaggle, so I couldn't really find the original post from that. But look at this code. Doesn't that look familiar? This is all the stuff from the original file. I mean, modify as little of this as possible. I changed this around just so that it knew the local directories on my computer for train and test that you got from Kaggle. But I'm doing all the same thing. There's the PCA, the ICA, GRP, all that stuff. And look at that. That's the PCA and others. And then at the very, very end, this is what I do. I rename those so that they match essentially the format that I need. I wanted the capital ID, and I wanted the output to be target. Let's just have a quick look at what the output of one of these actually looks like. So this is the ID field and target. So I was renaming those because the way that my scripts are written, you can specify in the config what you want the ID and target to be, but and I recommend you match what Kaggle is calling it for that particular competition. And then these are all of the values. These are the original values from the competition, and then the engineered ones are over here. You can tell they've got a lot of decimal places. These are all of the engineered features that are from that data set. Now, you don't want to pass in the original columns over and over and over again. They need to be in there probably somewhere if you want them sent to the features or to the model. You may find that some of these are very closely correlated with these, so you may drop some of the original ones out. In the joiner, you can tell it what columns to drop, and that's a good idea to do. You don't want to send into the same column twice. So now that you've renamed those, it's pretty easy. We are literally just going to save these here. The name, that's just char1, and that generates the two CSV files that the joiner is going to then get a hold of and build the actual feature vectors for train and test based on all the different files. So for the Mercedes ones, it would put together JTH1 and Cur1. The JTH one, by the way, the one that I created, these are just various features that I engineered myself. I removed some of the closely correlated ones, and I did some TF-IDF on it as well. I'll probably do some specific videos just on feature engineering techniques, and in particular, how do you evaluate your features to see which ones are actually helping or not, or hurting you. Sadly, you can engineer such a horrible feature that it actually makes your model less productive. You would hope that the model would know to drop such a feature, but they don't. And that is how you take features from an existing Kaggle file that somebody's posted somewhere and incorporate this into your own model. Believe me, you'll be doing this a lot if you compete in a Kaggle competition, because people are releasing features all the time. Thank you for watching this video, and if you want to see more like this, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.